Hey guys, it's A&T Academy, a science tutorial on
the types of plate boundaries
and some facts on them. Here's my partner, divergent boundaries.
So, divergent boundaries. These two, this is a type of plate boundary where two tectonic plates move away from each other. So, So they pull apart from each other, so they're moving away from each other. And the stress force inflicted upon them is called tension. And if you actually want to think about it, think of a piece of bubble gum. So if you take out the gum and when you chewed it all up and you take out the gum and it's quite thick, right? So you pull on it with your hands and it thins out in the middle. So this is basically what tension does. So this is what happens to divergent boundaries. And an example of divergent boundary is Rio Grande in Mexico. And here's my partner on convergent boundaries.
So, hey guys, convergent boundaries we have here. So, there are three types of possible combinations with convergent boundaries. But so you know, convergent boundaries and when like the opposite of divergent boundaries, instead of going apart, they come together. So convergent boundaries. So you have the oceanic crust and you have the continental crust. So you have the oceanic and the continental, right? So the oceanic is usually more dense than the continental. And think of what we know from density. Denser things, bottom, less dense things to the top. Okay? So convergent boundaries. Let's say you have oceanic, continental. Okay? Oceanic, when it comes, oceanic is denser, so it'll sink under the continental. Like you see here, this is the oceanic, it goes under, and the continental still moves, right? And then you have oceanic. Because not one is like denser than the other, like just classified. The denser oceanic crust will go under the other oceanic crust. And lastly, you have continental. Because continental, the continental crust normally have the same density. Because one cannot go under, right? They'll just press on each other until so much force that it just squeezes up into a high mountain range, such as the Andes mountain range. So convergent boundaries, they collide and one sinks, right? The stress force that is inflicted on these plates is compression. Compression is basically the stress force that acts upon a rock until it folds or breaks. And think of like a giant trash compactor. You have a bunch of pieces of trash. The giant trash compactor will compact or compress it into one like giant block. And then you have an example of this is the Rocky Mountains in western United States and Canada. Here is my partner with transform boundaries.
So, transform boundaries are two plate tectonics that are moving they're moving in opposite directions, and however in this case, plate tectonic sides cannot be exactly that smooth. They have to be jagged. So sometimes the two jagged sides, while they're moving past each other, they sometimes lock. And then when they can't move, some energy is being released into the earth, causing some minor earthquakes. And then once those two plate tectonics suddenly free themselves, so much energy is released into the earth, causing an earthquake. So transform boundaries slip past each other, and the kind of stress force inflicted upon them is shearing, right? And shearing is basically to think about it. So transform boundaries sometimes they basically grind the plates because they're locked right into each other, and sometimes it changes their appearance. All right. So think of a sheep. So a sheep, you shear the wool off a sheep in the very warm season to keep it cool. So once you shear off the wool off the sheep, it looks a lot more different than it previously did. So think of that as transform boundaries as the plate tectonics kind of changed their appearance. And an example of transform boundaries is the infamous San Andreas Fault, located in western United States in California. So anyway, those were the 3 types of plate boundaries.
Yeah, as my partner says, you have divergent, convergent, transform, and some facts about them. Make sure to check out our next video related to this on types of faults, a preview, normal, reverse, strike, slip, where we go more into detail about that, different parts of it, and how it's related to these 3 boundaries. Make sure to subscribe, like, share our videos with anyone you think might be interested. Anything you have to say?
Nope.
So, thanks again, guys. Make sure to check out our next videos, and bye.